Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. This, in the US Navy Tier 7 battleship, the USS Colorado, is Muppeteer UK. Full disclaimer, obviously he's from the UK, but this battle is actually being played on his North American server account, hence the name Muppeteer UK. On his EU account it's just Muppeteer. I believe the EU server was down at the time and he needed his daily World of Warships fix, so he hopped onto his North American server account. This is a Tier 7 domination battle here on the New Dawn map, with a rather unusual team lineup. Both teams have one Tier 6 aircraft carrier, 5 battleships, 4 extremely nervous cruisers, no destroyers, and 2 submarines. That's actually... You know what? The lack of destroyers, that's actually not bad news for a battleship player. What is bad news is that despite being top tier, Muppeteer is unfortunately in the USS Colorado. Yeah, not a fan of this ship. Never have been. To explain why, I'm going to have to go back to its predecessor at Tier 6, the USS New Mexico. Not a huge fan of the New Mexico either. To explain why, I'm going to have to refer to yet another ship. Don't worry, this is all... Just bear with me, this is all going to make sense. It's building up to something. I believe it's fair to say that I am somewhat famous within the World of Warships community for constantly ragging on the Gneisenau, the German Tier 7 battleship. Because the Gneisenau is an amazingly good ship. It's fast, it's tough, it's well armoured, but it's got some of the worst guns in the game. Actually, that's no longer true. The guns have been incrementally buffed a couple of times over the years. They're not great, but they're not absolutely terrible anymore. But nevertheless, you know, it's got a reputation. The guns are not good, but at least the platform that the guns are on, the ship itself, is excellent. The New Mexico's guns are equally bad, but for different reasons. On the bright side, at least it has a lot of them, 12 14-inch guns, but they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn at long range. And they're inconsistent at best at medium to short range. But at least the ship that they're being carried around on, like the Gneisenau, is... Oh no, actually, wait, no, the ship's terrible too! The 12 14-inch guns that it's armed with... I mean, you know, that's a lot of firepower, but the accuracy is bad. The reload is glacially slow. The turrets that they mounted on only turn at 3 degrees per second, so despite having actually a relatively tight turning circle for a battleship, the New Mexico is surprisingly manoeuvrable. The second you start turning the rudder, it's impossible to keep all of those guns on target. And then, of course, there's the speed, or extreme lack of it, with a top speed, a theoretical top speed of 21 knots, although in practice you're never going to see that speed. It takes forever for this thing to get anywhere, and more importantly to get away from anywhere. If you're in trouble in the New Mexico, you are going to stay in trouble until either you die or you kill the thing that's giving you the problems. And with the wild inaccuracy of its 12 14-inch guns, good luck with that. What does any of this have to do with Muppeteer's ship, the Colorado? Well, the Colorado is everything that the New Mexico was at Tier 6, except at Tier 7, and with arguably worse guns. You see, if you're going down that US Navy battleship line, going through the dreadnoughts from the New York to the New Mexico, you're suffering through the New Mexico, and everybody always says the same thing. Don't worry, once you get to Tier 7, you get the Colorado. And at least the Colorado has 16-inch guns. And it does. And they have all of the same problems as the 14-inch guns. Woeful inaccuracy, glacially slow reload, mounted in turrets that the ship itself will outturn, so the second you start manoeuvring, it's impossible to keep the guns on target. But at least with the New Mexico, while the guns were terrible, you did have 12 of them. And, you know, throw enough shit at the wall, some of it's going to stick. And that's kind of the problem, because while the Colorado does have bigger guns, they have all of the same problems as the New Mexico's 14-inch guns, and it only has 8 of them. So you can't even throw enough shit at the wall. Oh, but hang on a second, Jingles. You're all thinking to yourself as he unloads at the Scharnhorst 43 over there and scores a kill. Yeah, no, that wasn't the guns. Calm down. Cease your panic. That was a depth charge strike on the extremely low health submarine. I mean, look at this. The Scharnhorst is a sitting duck. 4,000 damage. He has scored 9 16-inch gun hits with 16-inch armor-piercing shells, and he hasn't even done 20,000 damage. Broadside targets that are not manoeuvring. Explain to me how this is better than the New Mexico. And don't forget, the Colorado is also a tier higher, so it's going to face much more powerful enemies. Okay, he finally, just by virtue of hitting it often enough, sinks the Scharnhorst. What is the carrier doing? Look at the map. Right, look at where he... This is one, at least, aircraft carrier captain who is not afraid of moving forward. What is that carrier anyway? Is that... Oh, hang on a second. Oh, light cruiser on a suicide run. And... Nope. Nothing but over penetrations. And it's the carrier who gets him. Oh, I hate this ship so much. It is so bad. I was wondering though, the friendly carrier, that's that, the Erich von Löwenhardt, is that, it's a tier 6, is that one of those German carriers that just has lots and lots of actually kind of good secondaries? Because I initially thought the carrier player was just suiciding. But he's not charging off, you can see his secondaries going, he's not charging off around the side of the island. There is in fact a method to his madness. My second thought, because the secondaries are pumping it out there, was that he was actually deliberately trying to get to within secondary range. And that may be a thing, I'm not entirely sure. But he's definitely not suiciding. Whatever he's up to, he does have a plan. Spoiler alert, he is going to finish this battle alive, and have a fairly impressive score. Oh, let's not also forget, getting back to the Colorado, yet another one of the reasons why I just playing this ship was so painful. I was so happy to see the back of it. Not just because it leads to the excellent USS North Carolina at Tier 8, which has none of the problems of the New Mexico and the Colorado. It's not a fast battleship. It's got a top speed of 28 knots, which is still kind of slow. But, you know, it's a good nearly 10 knots faster than this thing. And its guns are actually good. But, yeah, the speed of the Colorado is painful. 21 knot top speed, same as the New Mexico. And realistically, you are never going to see that speed. In fact, I don't care how many speed flags you equip. Look at this, 19 knots, 19.3, 19 He might hit 20. I'll eat my own arse if he hits 21. No, he's not even going to hit 20. Oh, this ship is so bad. It's mostly the speed that kills it for me, and this of course applies to the New Mexico as well. Because these two ships are so incredibly slow, whoa, he actually scored a Citadel. Angled light cruiser, well it is the Omaha. I mean, tier 5 and 6 light cruisers are notorious for exploding if you so much as look at them the wrong way, and the Omaha has always been the poster child for that. I'm just surprised he didn't overpenetrate. Come on, you can get it. Do it. Come on, do it. What are you waiting for? Here I am. Kill me. Nope, overpens. Overpens and misses. Somebody else is surely going to get the Omaha. 112 hit points. You've got to be kidding me. I don't know who that is shooting at him, but he should have gone to Specsavers. Is he really? 34-second reload on these guns, by the way. He is actually going to get to reload these guns and hopefully finish the Omaha's 112 hit points off before whoever that is finishes missing the Omaha at least 30 times. Wow. Actually, you know what? I'm going to call that justice, because that was his kill. He totally deserved it. Whichever, I'm assuming by the rate of fire, light cruiser it was that was spamming AP at that Omaha and just missed for 34 seconds. Didn't deserve that kill anyway, so I'm glad Muppeteer got it. But yeah, talking about the speed of this thing, or singular lack of it. Unless you are blessed with the ability to foresee the future, if you are in a New Mexico or a Colorado, because they're both, well actually, I mean, they both have the same technical top speed of 21 knots, but the New Mexico actually has better mobility because it doesn't weigh as much. It's got better horsepower per ton. The Colorado, I mean, the New Mexico sucks. The Colorado's worse. So they're both the kind of ship where unless you can predict the future, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to constantly be chasing the battle around, but just too slow to actually catch up and do any damage, particularly at range where the accuracy of these guns is just terrible. Because in both ships, you do kind of need to at least be at medium range. Like, if you're more than 14 kilometers away, forget it. You're having no influence on the outcome of the battle. But if you're within 14 kilometers and things start going badly, you can't escape because you're too slow. So you're either constantly chasing the battle around the map, you know, always arriving too late to actually do anything meaningful because you're too slow, or you get to the right place at the right time and you'd better win because if things start going badly, there's no way you can possibly escape. That is life in a New Mexico and a Colorado. And it's arguably worse in a Colorado because while it does have bigger guns, they have all of the same disadvantages as the New Mexico's guns. Horrible turret traverse, glacially slow reload, wildly inconsistent accuracy, but it has less of them, and the ship itself is heavier, bulkier, and less manoeuvrable. Other than that, it's a great ship. Yeah, why don't you tell us what you really mean, Jingles? Alright, look at that. Aside from that one citadel, has he done more than 4,000 damage with a single salvo? And don't forget, all you New Mexico captains who are suffering through that particular grind, everybody keeps telling you, don't worry, you get to the Colorado at tier 7, at least you get 16-inch guns. And how much better are they? There goes that carrier, the Löwenhardt, ninjaing another kill out from underneath him. Like I said, there's a method to that carrier's madness. Oh, the deli! Oh, surely this is a kill. We have all 4 turrets. I mean, I've got to give it to them. Oh, and it is a kill. Awesome. Yeah, the firing angles on these turrets are very, very good. It's the only good thing about the turrets. I mean, 3 degrees per second turret rotation is just... It's not the worst I've ever seen. I think the Warspite used to have 1 degree per second, which was comically bad. It got buffed. It's still slow. It's not good, but I mean, you've seen how slowly these turrets are turning. Now imagine these are 3 times faster than the Warspite's turrets used to be. Again, I do have to give it up for the Colorado and equally the New Mexico at tier 6. One thing that it is actually not bad at is, well, exactly this, because its belt armor is kind of chunky. This was the whole idea of these, what the US Navy calls their standard class battleships. They had a very, very well armored citadel and basically no armor anywhere else. The all or nothing armor concept. So through the bow and the stern, this thing will take large amounts of chunk damage, but angled like this, it's surprisingly resilient. Another reason why you really do want to get it in close and tank like this, because you can bring all of the guns to bear on the target because the turrets do have good angles. And you can get them all firing like that without presenting even though we only did 5,000 damage. But you can get them all firing like that without presenting the kind of flat broadside that would get you spanked within an inch of your life in return, the way other battleships often have to. I mean, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here for good things to say about these ships, but there are good things to say about these ships. Muppeteer doing something now that you really, most of the time, is a very, very bad idea in the Colorado. He's slowing to a stop. Because of the slow speed and the need to be able to predict where you need to be minutes ahead of when you need to be there, most of the time you do want to keep this ship moving. Otherwise, you're never going to be where you need to be when you need to be there, most of the time. The acceleration is diabolically bad too, even worse than the top speed. But you can appreciate why he's doing this, because he goes around that corner, he's going to be fighting 2 enemy battleships at the same time, one of whom is another Colorado, so he's waiting out his heel. And it's here where the friendly Bayern, and I am of course using the word friendly in the broadest possible sense of the word, the friendly Bayern starts criticising him. Get in the fight, Colorado. They're in chat. Excuse me. It's bold advice coming from a dead guy with no kills. Especially directed at somebody with 4 kills, 51 gun hits, and the Confederate Award. You know, like I said, that's a bold choice of words coming from a dead guy with no kills, especially directed at Muppeteer here. I mean, his record kind of stands for itself. We're sure the Bayern doesn't know that he got the Confederate Award unless he's paying attention to Battle Chat. Because, you know, achievements like that do get announced in Battle Chat, but, I mean, anybody can see that he's got 4 kills just by looking at the team list, unless he hasn't even got the team list turned on, so. I am reminded of the expression, opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has one, but that doesn't necessarily mean you want to hear from them. Well, anyway, he's recovered all the health he's ever going to recover. He's given the clueless twat in the Bayern a piece of his mind, and was remarkably polite about it, in my opinion. And now, here he goes. And oh, if everybody would just line up nicely and just give me the maximum possible amount of broadside, and he still denied citadels. I mean, he gets the kill, and that was kill number 5, so there's the Kraken unleashed. Now he has to wait 34 seconds, although with Adrenaline Rush it's probably slightly less than that. But more than 30 seconds to do the same thing to the enemy Colorado, who has 30 seconds to either turn or get behind the island. But he's in a Colorado. So that was never going to happen. Not in anything less than a minute. And now it's just him versus the carrier and the submarine. Yeah. Carrier and a submarine. I think the only things worse for a Colorado, or for that matter New Mexico captain to be facing, than a carrier and a submarine would I mean a destroyer. If there was a Japanese torpedo destroyer out there torpedoing you from stealth, that would be worse. You'd be... okay, they're dropping like that. So, the enemy carrier isn't exactly making life hard for him. You have what basically amounts to a huge floating target like the Colorado here. It was burning, although he has damage controlled the fire. It's got less than 5,000 hit points. I mean, 1 torpedo. But no, torpedo denied. That's all it takes. 1 torpedo would be enough to sink him. Even a tier 6 aircraft carrier torpedo would have been enough. And the Ryujo has consistently managed to not only fail to hit him, but he's also given him the Air Defense Expert Award. And he's allowed him to cap. How? How can a dreadnought battleship with a carrier and a submarine on the enemy team manage to flip a... oh, what the hell? I don't get it. I don't understand. Is this some aircraft carrier twat joke that us non-aircraft carrier twats don't get? Oh, I think he's going to get the kill as well, isn't he? No idea where the submarine is. Actually, I do. It's all the way up there, cap circle. It's probably heading this way, actually. It's probably over there. It's certainly looking at him. Somebody sees him. It's not the carrier. At least not yet. He had a line of sight before the carrier came around the corner. Yep, there's the sub, and there goes the carrier. He's still denied a citadel. Oh, is this going to be kill number 8? Come on, depth charges away. Yes, he's got him. Oh, baby, and it was a double strike. Oh, and it was a secondary kill. That's a close quarters expert award into the bargain. Oh, well, now you're just being greedy. 8 kills. AA Defense Expert, Confederate, Double Strike, Close Quarters Expert, Dreadnought, and Kraken Unleashed. In the USS Colorado? What the hell? It was nearly a 3,000 base XP battle. What's wrong with this picture? That was a crazy good performance in a crazy bad ship. He got twice as many kills in one of the worst ships in the game than the entire rest of his team combined. I see what you're trying to do here, Muppeteer. It's not going to work. No matter how well you do in this utter turd of a ship, you are not going to convince me that it's any good. But I at least salute you for trying. And I hope you all enjoyed watching him achieve this crazy result, because that is it for today. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.